Hey folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we are going to make today a pair of earrings using some of our bargain bead box for December Earthen Elegance. So let's get turned down and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So using some antique copper Softflex craft wire 22 gauge, I think these are 7-inch pieces that I cut, and it's probably a little more than I need. I don't normally use 22 gauge. That's smaller for an earring than I actually like to use. However, we're going to use some of these little micro-faceted 2mm garnets, and well, they're not going to fit on anything bigger than that. So what we want to do, so let's split these in two. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of wire and we're going to sort of find the center here, and we're going to wrap it around some. Now, I have a wire mandrel, but not everybody does, so if you don't worry about it. We're just going to take the lowest form here and just bring it up and around. Now, I don't want these bins in here, so we'll straighten them up some. We are going to form this up on the smallest one, and then I'm going to get my hammer and my block out. We're going to give it a couple of whacks here to try and get it to stay. Well, the beads frequently need to have them these back open again in order to form nice to go on, because they are, well, especially the garnets are small and they don't want to go around the loops per se. If that happens, then we have to open these back up until they will go on the loop. So when you hammer them, it gives the wire a little bit of a memory of where it's been at. So that's why we're going to give it a little bit of a hammer, since it's such a lightweight wire. So we will put this here, get our nylon jaw hammer, and we're going to I'm not going to do it up at the top, because what I'm going to do is wire wrap that around our ring there. So let's okay, now that we've got a couple of whacks onto this to harden it some, we're going to start feeding our beads on. Now our middle bead is going to be this jasper. So down and around to the bottom he went, and he went good, so that's no problem. And then we're going to have a bicone on either side. Now here comes our tricky part. We're going to put one of these tiny little faceted fellers next on either side. We'll see if it's going to cooperate and go around the bend. Oh, it did all right. That's good. Do the same with this guy on the other side. That's where the trick with these guys is just finding their holes. Okay, got that in. Now we're going to put one of these matte magma rondelles on. Bing. And bing. Next is a bicone again. And then each side gets 2 more of the tiny little crystals. Now, if it weren't for the tiny crystals, we could use a bigger wire size, but the crystals will not go on because they're so tiny. Any larger wire than the 22. Oh, don't tell me you're going to be naughty now. You got all the way down there. More on either side, and then we can put them on the other earring. Now, I'm going to do these both at the same time because that way I can compare their size and make sure they made it all right. There we go. So there's what it's going to look like. And I'm going to cross these over about right here, and then we're going to wire wrap it onto this bar here. But let's get the beads on the other side. This side is not as cooperative, it doesn't look like, as the other side was, but I think we can get it to work for us. So, big one first. Down and around, baby. Now, see what I mean about sometimes you have to open it up some to let them behave. Now we want a bicone on both sides. Then one of the teeny tinies. There's your hole. Uh-oh, I just knocked that on the ground. We're going to have to get another one out because these are about impossible to find when you knock them on the ground. But okay. Then the rondelle. Bicone. and the other 2 tiny ones. And if I'm going off screen while I'm feeding these, I apologize, because they are very tiny. It's hard to find their hole, so that doesn't want to go on either. So let's get our tiny ones out, and I'll be right back with them. Okay, let's get a couple more out of here. Come on, babies. Don't want a lot. I don't want to take the chance of losing them. So that's a hole right there. Here we go, finally. Well, heck. That one went straight on. No accounting for them. There we go. We got the 4 we need now. Well, maybe we do. Are you going to stay right there? There we go. Now we need to get these both back into shape. The shape we want them to be in anyway, which is about an oval shape. So let's see. And we want them to match each other. So I think that this one is more rounded than this one is. So let's see if we can get those to do that. This is not straight down here. That's better. We want these to be bent here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mandrel back out, and we're going to put it on here. And then I'm going to take, come on, go all the way down there. Get to the middle. Then what I want to do is I want to take one of these and bend it up. Yeah, I probably can do it with my fingernails since this is pretty light wire. And then we're going to take the other one and wrap around the one that we bent, so that we have a wrap right here. So we will hold these close to each other here and bring this one, well, come on, stop being difficult. Bring this one around a couple of times, like we're doing a wrap, which is what we're doing actually. Then it's going to go, and they're going to go like so. Now, as you can see, these are not quite where I want them at. So put it back on here and see how it is working. We want this to be in the center, the jasper. So let's get this. The jasper has to come around some because it's not in the center. Come on, baby. Still needs to work around a little bit here. And this one is actually more being sort of difficult here. We want the jasper in the center of this little wire. Well, in the meantime, we'll get working on this one, and then I will work that one down. So we're going to put the jasper on the center. Bring our wires all the way around till they are like so. Take this one wire, and we need to bend it up right here so it's straight. And then we'll hold these together like we would with any other wire wrap that we're doing, and wrap it a couple of times. Oops, it slipped on us. We don't want it to slip. Go down there. We want this one to come this way and this one to come this way, so they're like little rabbit ears. Oh boy, get yourself back down where you belong. Now we need to get things in place. This little guy wants to go up here. We want to see if we can get him back down in place. Since it slid up. There we go. Now, how's this one doing? Not quite there. Down here. Okay, I think that's about as close as I'm going to get them. So what we do next is we take these two bars, these two wires that come out of either side. We take our little bar, and we're going to go up a little ways on the bar. So we're about like there. And then we're just going to hold our bar in place here while we wrap a couple of wraps around the bar. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So there we go. That's what it's going to look like. Looks like I got this side a little looser than that side. There we go. We can tighten that up some. Then we'll cut our extra wire off here. And this one we're going to cut as close to under the edge of the wire thing as we can, and then we'll tuck it in. Now, these earrings won't have a lot of movement, so if you're a movement person, these probably are not for you, because the only place we're going to be able to add movement into them is up here where they hook onto the ear wire. And because of the way they're facing, we're going to have to put 2 little jump rings in there to make that work. So we'll get 4 little jump rings out here. I think I got 5 there, but that's all right. So we will open up these. There's one. And this second one is going to hold the ear wire. So we'll just go through this one and then through our ear wire. We'll check to see which one we want to have to be the front. And close this one up. And this particular earring is done, other than maybe seeing if you can shape the wire a little bit more if it's not quite up to your standards. So we'll get the other earring out and we'll put it on its bar just the same way as we did this one. Just hold it in place just a teeny bit down from where it's going, and then wrap 3 times around the bar. And we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. 1, slide that over there better, 2, 3. So now we're going to trim our wires off here. Tuck those in. And hook it onto the ear wire. Now I truly wish I could have used the next gauge up wire, 20 gauge, but like I said, the little garnets would not go on 20 gauge, so if we're going to use them in this earring, that's the lowest what we can go. However, if you don't want to use the little garnets, you could go up to 20 gauge. And that one just slipped, but I'll have to get it fixed. There we go. And there's earring number 2. As you can see, my garnets have slipped up here. And because they're tight on the wire, you have to ease those down a little easier. I'm not real thrilled right here with this side of this wire. Doesn't seem to be as bowed as this one over here is. But I don't want to overbow it either, so but there's our earrings. So anyway, there is our little earrings made with the toggle bar. I like to try and use the toggle bar for something, and usually it's an earring when I have used the ring for something else. I think these are cute. I like them. I hope you like them. The only thing I would do differently is I would rather use a heavier gauge of wire. But like I said, you cannot use a heavier gauge of wire if you're using those tiny garnets from the Bargain Bead Boxes, December, the Earthen Elegance set, because they won't go through any larger wire. So these are going to be a bit delicate for anybody who's using them. But yeah, I did work hard on them some, obviously, but I'm not sure how bendable they still are. I think they are a little bendy still. I wish they weren't, but I think they still are. But I really like them. I think they turned out really cute. They're a nice earring, nice length, if you like a longer earring, that is. But this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been using the Bargain Bead Box for December Earthen Elegance to make these cute little toggle bar earrings. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.